Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. I want to give you somewhat of a double header today. I want to talk about Microsoft and Bitcoin and why you might want to consider both. We'll start with Microsoft, and this comes from a post that I put on public yesterday. You should be following your boy. That's buildingbread.com/public for those that don't know, and I'll make sure I put the link above, below, wherever. So number one, you definitely want to follow me there because I drop knowledge every day on public, or usually every day on public. But right now, there was a rumor yesterday, rather, there was a rumor that has been out in the news a lot lately, and it's about Microsoft buying the messaging service or the chatting app, as some call it, called Discord, for about $10 billion. And this is a rumor. They are expected to be in talks about this. Now, Discord, again, it's a messaging app that helps people gather primarily around video games, but I've also seen them do it for sports. I've seen people be on Discord about movies, like Marvel movies and Star Wars and all that types of stuff. To get there, share videos, stream videos if you're gaming, and just be able to talk. They boast 140 million subscribers. I'm sorry, 140 million daily users, which is really close to what Twitter is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're like 170 or so. So they're approaching Twitter levels of popularity and usage, which is huge. Now, Microsoft looks like they want to buy them and kind of integrate this into their Xbox platform, which is like, one of the biggest gaming platforms out there. You got Sony's PlayStation, you got Xbox, and you got Nintendo way over to the left. But again, it's something that makes sense, unlike what I thought TikTok was going to be. Remember, they were trying to buy TikTok for like 30 billion around December. No, it's like January. No, not January. What was it? November, December of last year, and that ended up falling through with the previous president. It was weird. It was weird, and no one knows where that is now. But they were trying to do that. Microsoft did actually buy LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is fine. They were pretty hands off with that. And that's what gaming people will tell you now. They are afraid that if Microsoft buys it, they're going to ruin the community. They're going to ruin everything, and it's not going to be the same. They're going to have to leave and go somewhere else. Well, I would point to LinkedIn in that most of y'all just forgot that Microsoft even owns LinkedIn to begin with. A lot of times with these newer platforms, they'll buy it, they'll leave it alone, and let whoever was running it continue to run it, and everything is usually fine. But it would be a great move for Microsoft to do this. They also attempted to, or they were in talks rather, to buy Pinterest too. That didn't happen either. So just because you're talking about it now, just because it's in the news now, doesn't mean it's going to happen. It is reported that they're in talks. We don't know if those talks are going well or when decisions are going to be made. Another reminder is we heard rumors, I think from Yahoo Finance and others, that Amazon was rumored to buy AMC Theaters. That didn't happen either, did it? I don't think it made sense, but even so, it's something that didn't happen. So you do want to be careful here. However, my case for Microsoft, and I've been investing in them for years, is that they are one of the companies that I'm not going to say invincible by any stretch of the imagination, but you are someone who they've got so many different types of businesses. They got their cloud platform, the Microsoft Azure. They got a Surface line of tablets, which I'm using right now. They've got Bing, which is supposed to be Google, but it's not. But apparently, people still go there. I don't know how. Don't forget all the Microsoft Office stuff and Microsoft Teams. Like the list goes on of all the things they offer. It is real hard not to give Microsoft your money in any way, shape, or form. LinkedIn too, right? So you want to just have it on your list of things to consider. The other thing I like about Microsoft is they've been around for long enough for me to trust them, right? Like a lot of people are putting money into a lot of new companies, a lot of IPOs, in hopes that they're going to pop off and do some amazing things. I can tell you this: Microsoft got you almost 75% last year alone. That's hard to beat. That's real hard to beat, and it's not nearly as volatile and as crazy as something like Tesla, which was really high last year, not so great over the last 2 months or so, but maybe on its way back. So you got to wonder about what Elon Musk is going to say in the morning. You got to wonder about what Bitcoin is going to do, since they bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. They also announced today that they're going to accept Bitcoin to buy their cars, which I don't really think is a bad thing. But again, you got to wonder what's going to happen with that at all times. Whereas Microsoft, they're going to be all right. They've been all right for more than 30 years. it's something you can almost bank on. So consider it. I wouldn't do it for the Discord because that may or may not happen. I would take a look at what they do, how much they've been making, and see if they're consistent enough for you to add to your portfolio. So just consider it. All right. So let me know what you think about Microsoft in the comments, and then we're going to move on to our second story today, which is Bitcoin. So I've been on the Bitcoin supporter bandwagon since the last part of last year. So like November, December ish. And I've been very loud about why I didn't like it in 2017, 2018, and why I'm more in favor of it now because the tide has changed. And you got some people going back to 2015, like, yeah, when Bitcoin becomes this, when it becomes that. All these rumors, y'all can miss me with all of that, right? Like, show me the evidence, and then that's when I'll start to jump into it. So for me, I started to jump in when I start to see the real players jump into it. So you saw Tesla buy 1.5 billion. I think that is a thing. I don't think it's the biggest thing, but it is a thing. You had Square and PayPal looking at ways to offer it. I know for a fact you can buy it on Cash App now. Like, these are the things that you want to start to see to kind of give you some support and say, now that I know that the big people are putting money into it, that it was a bit safer, right? They're not going to gamble their money like a small investor would and say, look, I'm just put, my stimulus check all on this one thing. That ain't what they're doing. So we had news today. I want to pull it up just so I can make sure I have my facts right. Fidelity, one of the largest investment firms, they're looking to launch a Bitcoin ETF that pretty much is almost like an index. So what it does, or what it's supposed to do, it has to be approved yet, or it does have to be approved for us to get into it, is that it's going to track how Bitcoin does, and investors in that ETF will receive a percentage of that. This would be really, really big for a few reasons. Number one, it opens up the market for Bitcoin. Not everyone has one of those niche apps, like a Coinbase or something like that, to access Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies. Also, if Fidelity is able to pull this off and do it, there could be other types of cryptocurrency ETFs, which again is going to make a lot of these a lot more legitimate. It's going to make a lot of these a lot more accessible. And with that type of market, you could start to see these prices explode even more. Around this time last year, Bitcoin was just $10,000. Now it's above 52. At least that's what the article said. I'll check it now because Bitcoin can be up and down and can really vary. So I just want to double check that real quick. I'm just using Cash App for it. 52,442 is what it is at this current moment. Again, that's so from the past year, it's up 685%, which is ridiculous. Now, I'm not someone who is going to be here and say it's going to go to 100,000 or whatever target people are putting at. I don't really think that's a game I want to play. I will say that I do think it is not too late, but there are risks, right? You have seen in the past how quick and easy that this can continue to grow and continue to fall. I forget now at what point I got in. I don't know if it was 30, 20,000, 30,000, whatever it was, around whatever I did that video. Just go check out the video. You'll know exactly when I got in. Then I've seen some significant growth since the time I've gotten in. That doesn't guarantee it's going to continue to go up in the future, but the more it is adopted, the better it starts to look for Bitcoin. And again, allowing like a Tesla, allowing people to pay with it, that's interesting, right? That means that you like, oh, I can use this as money. I can use this more. It is a limited cryptocurrency, which means there aren't unlimited coins out there. There is a cap, there is a limit, and that supply and demand does make this a bit more intriguing than others. It is still the largest cryptocurrency out there, which gives a little more legitimacy too. And again, with the PayPals and the Teslas and the Squares, as they start to acquire it and allow people to use it, that's going to continue to allow it to grow, which is good for Bitcoin. And Fidelity, again, they're one of the largest investing houses or brokerage firms. So right now, you really got to go to some of this kind of off-brand, if you will, Coinbase, Cash App, even to get you Bitcoin right now. If you could do it at Fidelity, imagine the access. It's like people's IRAs, people's 401ks. When you roll that money over, which is usually where the majority of the money is, and you can start to acquire a piece of Bitcoin with that type of money, that really changes the game. So I'm not saying it's here yet. Again, it still needs to be approved. There has not been a cryptocurrency ETF that has been approved yet. So this would be one of the first, if not the first. So do pay attention to it. This is big for Bitcoin. You still got Coinbase going public at some point this year. Coinbase is one of the biggest apps where you can access information and buy cryptocurrency through there. So you want to pay attention to that too. All right. So those are my news and notes for today. I'll answer one other question I know I tend to get is how much of your overall money should you put in Bitcoin? That's really up to your risk profile. I think I generally stick with that 5% rule in most cases. If you want to be more aggressive, maybe 10, 15%. If you are just wild. If you want to be wild, you put up to 15% in. I think 10 is pretty aggressive. I think 5 is fine. But again, the more you put in Bitcoin, yeah, the more money you can make, but also if it doesn't go the way you expect it to, or if it goes the way it did in 2017, 2018, yeah, you want to be very, very careful of that. So more risk, more reward. So I just wanted to get out there, let you guys know that those two things are happening. You got Microsoft rumored to buy Discord, which I think would be a good thing, but I still think that Microsoft is a good buy either way. And then you got Bitcoin, something that you should consider if you haven't already. I think, 10 years from now, over the last, 4 years, it's been a thing. But now it's becoming a real thing where you have financial planners saying, well, how much should I put my client's portfolio in Bitcoin? That's a huge thing because people are now talking about it in a more legitimate fashion and they're adding it in ways they have not added it before. All right, so that's it for me. I'll talk to you guys later.